Welcome to the Business Chaser, your quick pour of strategy, clarity, and momentum. We skip the small talk and get straight to the strategy here in these bite-sized episodes. We're here to help you grow smarter, market better, and chase what matters, all in 15 minutes or less. I'm your host, Lauren Najar. Tune in and let's chat. Hi, everyone. I'm Brittany, and earlier you listened to our podcast episode with Lauren, so thank you for tuning in again today. I'm super excited to talk to you guys today about some myth busting with social media and content creation and all of that fun stuff. So let's just dive right in. Some things that I hear all the time as a social media manager are, I don't really need a social media manager, or word of mouth is going to get me just fine, or I'm successful without it, or my industry is just oversaturated because, yes, we know there's 5,000 med spas in every single town. So if that sounds familiar, the truth is I get it. And I know that social media can be overwhelming. Even as a social media manager, it is overwhelming. It's constantly evolving. It's constantly changing. And it's always so much to keep up with. So essentially, it's just another to-do on your to-do list. And if you've built your business the old school way, you've probably not thought too much of your social media, which is okay. But with it being 2025, I always tell my clients, social media is no longer like, oh yeah, it's nice to have that. It's essentially another storefront to your business. I'm 31 years old and my husband is about to be 33. And I know when we go out for dinner or out for drinks or go to a hotel or whatever we're doing, the first thing that we do is we go to their social media and we look up pictures. We want to see who's there, what our drinks look like, what our food looks like, what we can order. Because I could read a menu all day on someone's website, but if this salad looks better than this sandwich, I'm going to go with the salad just because it looks better type of thing. And aesthetic is huge. So all that does play a big role in your social media. And like I said, it's essentially just another storefront to your business. So yes, while it's nice to have, it's essentially a must-have to your business. They may, when I say they, I mean people may still hear about you from a friend, and that's great, but what's the first thing that they're going to do after they Google you? They're going to search your social media. They're going to look at your Instagram or your Facebook, and they're going to look for signs that you're real, you're active, and you're a credible person, especially if you're a business that maybe, I don't know, are coaching them or you're going into their home to provide a service or something like that. That stuff is going to go a really long way when you're building your social media presence. So standing out isn't necessarily about being the loudest in the room. You don't need to be the loudest. You don't need to go viral. In fact, I always tell my clients, because yes, going viral sounds really cool. I've done it. It is cool. But essentially, that's not getting you sales, right? Because if you are a med spa or a greenhouse located here in, let's just say, Northwest Indiana, a person from the UK is not coming to your greenhouse to buy a flower for $3.99 or coming to you for a head spa treatment. Like, you going viral and you hitting these other locations, while it's cool to do so, it's not getting you sales. And essentially, that's what you're building your social media for, is to get those leads and to get those sales for your business. So clarity is definitely going to beat the noise. So when your audience lands on your page, they want to be able to see who you are, what you offer, who it's for, and why it matters. So if you're missing any of those, you're essentially missing opportunities every single day. So after you listen to this podcast, I think it's going to be really important for you to kind of sit down and just audit your social media. It's super easy to do. Start at the very top of your Instagram, go through your name, go through your category, go through what is in your bio, go through your highlights, go through your pinned posts, and see if you're giving that information as a one-stop shop for the people who are visiting your page. Another idea is if you have specials, like that should be something that you're promoting. You want it to be something that is right in front of them without having to go to the next stop. Because essentially, if you keep directing these people to other funnels of your business, like your website and things like that, they're probably going to stop clicking. So if you just have it there, you have it in front of them, it's less work for them to do and probably will then get them to enter through your door quicker. And another thing is having success on social media probably doesn't mean what you think. So when someone says like, I'm successful without social media, which people have told me this several times actually recently, and they're probably telling not the right person that, because I strongly disagree. And while I agree you might be successful without it, but I strongly agree, or I disagree rather, because I think that you could be more successful if you do have social media and your social media is being used in the way that it should be used, and you're using those tools to put yourself out there the way that it should be. So, like I said, I don't doubt that your business is successful without social media. But my question would be to you is, how much more could you grow if you had that online presence and it matched your in-person reputation? Because again, I'm really big on that connection. So if you can make that connection online while you're also representing it in person, how much more and how much quicker do you think that you can grow? So ask yourself, are you leaving money behind? Are you leaving visibility behind? Are you leaving opportunities on the table? Because you can be successful without social media, but you can be undeniable without it. So keep that in mind for sure. Another thing is that I always tell my clients, and I will forever stand by this until, I don't know, the social media changes, which we all know that it does. But something that I always say is your online presence is your brand's trust. People are nosy. People want to know you. They want to see behind the scenes, and they want to get to know the person behind your logo. While yes, your logo is great, your branding is great, they want to see you, and they want to see the authentically real, raw you. They don't necessarily care what you look like, if your hair is sticking up or whatever. They just want to know you, and they want to be able to trust you, because you putting yourself out there is going to build that trust, and then that trust builds loyalty. So even a few seconds of that B-roll or a photo of your process from building something to finishing it, or starting this hairstyle to finishing it, whatever it is and what that looks like for your business, then putting that face to the name is what's going to set you apart. And I know this for a fact. I have clients who never want to get in front of the camera, and clients who religiously, they're the face of their brand, and their social media is more successful than I could ever hope it to be, because I can see it in the numbers, and I know that it's because they are putting themselves out there. So definitely think about that. It doesn't have to be anything that takes a lot of time. Just buy a $20 tripod off Amazon, set it up, and hit record, because all of that, you put a POV on there with a good old hook on it, and you'll be good to go. People love seeing that stuff. Another thing is that I want you to think about is what's holding you back. A lot of times it is time, because time is money. We know that if you are a business owner, you're wearing 1,000 different hats, and social media probably is not at the top of that, but it's also probably a plan. So most small businesses aren't struggling because they don't have a great service or great products, but they're struggling because they don't have the time or the plan to talk about it effectively online. So that's where the online content creation comes in. And that's where your social media manager, whether it be me or someone else, comes in, and we come in to create that content that resonates with your audience. You don't need to post every single day. You don't need to be on every single platform or do every single trend because Lord knows there are a lot of them. You just really need to think about being strategic, being on brand, and make the content that feels authentic to you and speaks to your audience and maybe even saves you some time. So that is really what I wanted to share with you guys. I could keep rambling on more into content creation and all of that. But I think if you just take these little steps and ask yourself these questions that I was talking about throughout this podcast, I think it will start leading you into the right direction. So thanks for listening.
That's your quick hit of clarity and momentum for the week. If it sparks something, share it with a friend or tag us in your stories at Business Over Cocktails and or at Lauren Najar. We love seeing what resonates. Don't forget, Mondays are for full-length episodes with rich conversations, and Fridays are the Business Chaser episodes. These are bite-sized insights pulled from our guests to keep you inspired and aligned throughout the week. Do you have a question or a takeaway? DM us at Business Over Cocktails. We just might feature it in a future episode. Cheers!